Hi kids, it's Mr. Thor with Video Science Friday, and I have my cat Mrs. with me. She likes to hang out there so she can watch the birds. They go to the feeder up there. Today we're going to do some egg science, some science experiments with eggs. So if you have extra eggs at your house, you can do these experiments. But maybe right now you don't have extra eggs, so that's okay. You can just watch the videos too. So, for the first one, right here I have Egelina. Now, Egelina is a ballerina, and one of her favorite tricks is to balance like this. Most eggs can't just stand up like that. That's kind of a cool trick. Over here is her little sister Red. Now, Red was rolling around, so her face got all smudged around, but that's okay, she's still Red. Now, Red has been trying to learn this trick for so long, but whenever Red tries to stand up, she just falls over. So what's happening is when Red tries to stand up, gravity is just pushing her down. Gravity's pushing down at all times. And since she's more flat on this side, it just rolls her to the flat side. So how did her sister Egelina, the ballerina, stay balanced like this? Maybe she's spinning. Should I try to spin her? No, that didn't work. So I'll show you guys how to do the trick. So for this first experiment, to get an egg to balance, all you need is an egg and some salt. And if you want, you can get a marker and draw some faces on the egg. That's a fun part. And you just put a little bit of salt. Whoop. It kind of came out fast. So you just put some salts down, and then if you're lucky, you can get the egg to balance. Now, to make it look trickier, what I do is to get all the salt away as I sneak down. And I blow all the salt away. But sometimes if you blow too hard, you'll blow the egg down. So that is one way to make the egg balance. Pretty cool. Okay, so for the next one, I have Egbert. He's this cool egg wearing sunglasses, and he really likes to go swimming. But today he's taking care of his baby sister Toothy. She's this little egg right here, and she's never been swimming before. The problem with eggs, when you put them in water, I have 2 jars of water here, is they sink. And Toothy doesn't know how to hold her breath. So in order for them to be able to go swimming, Egbert has to try to make a way for Toothy to float. So what you need for this experiment is the same thing. You need eggs, 2 cups of water, and some salt. Now, if I add a bunch of salt to the water, it's going to make it heavier. Now I'm going to stir it up. I can use my finger because it's just salt, and that's safe to touch. Now, once it's all dissolved, we'll see what will happen if we put Toothy in the salt water. She sunk. Well, let's see. Maybe if I add more salt, then maybe that'll make her float. Salt it up. Stir it up. All right. Now we'll see. You guys know, sometimes in science things don't happen on the first time. She floats. Now, I don't know if you can see her because the water is kind of cloudy. I'll try to move the jar a little bit closer. It's all cloudy. So then this water has no salt in it. And I'll put Egbert in there. What do you guys think is going to happen? Is he going to sink or float? 3, 2, 1. He sunk. Because there's no salt. And then here's Toothy floating around. Hello again. Okay. So for the next experiment, the things you're going to need are an egg. This guy right here is Mr. Mustachio. And Mr. Mustachio really likes diving into pools. It's one of his favorite things to do. And you also need a plate and one of these things. These come from your toilet paper rolls. So what I do is I put the plate on top of this glass of water, and then I try to line it up so the toilet paper roll is right over the glass of water. And then Mustachio gets to lay right there, just like he's resting. Now, they all look pretty lined up. If you guys remember from the first experiment about gravity, gravity is always pushing down. It's pushing down on everything. So if I whack this plate and this out of the way, what I'm hoping is that the gravity will keep pushing down on the egg and make him go in the water. We'll give it a try and see if that works. You ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so you can go get your plate and toilet paper roll and fish out your egg, Mr. Mustachio. Sometimes I look and I see he got a little bit cracked because he hit the bottom of the cup, but that's okay, I can still use him again. Now I'm gonna see if I can do this with more than one egg. Mr. Mustachio has a couple friends. He has Beardy McGoats, and he also has Ghosty. Now Ghosty dressed up as a ghost for Halloween, and Ghosty just stayed in its costume. It just thinks it's a ghost now. So that's what's happening with Ghosty. Maybe we should do 5. All right, he's got even more friends. We'll do all 5 of them. And he's got Pumpkiny, the pumpkin. That was the same thing. These guys dressed up on Halloween together, and they just didn't take off their costumes. They're still dressed up. And then the last one is Curly. That's Curly right there. So I have 5 eggs. I also have 5 glasses of water. Now, I've never even done this many. I've done 3 before, but I've never done 5. So this is kind of an experiment for me too. And we'll see if it's gonna work. Okay, eggs are rolling all around. So now I have a big enough plate that I think I only need the 1 plate. And I'm gonna line up the paper towel, or the toilet paper rolls, right over each of the cups. And we'll put all the eggs on their lane, just like they're getting ready to go. Mustachio over here. We'll put Ghosty right here. Curly right in the front. And then Pumpkiny will be right there. Now this is a lot. We'll see if we can get this to work. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Almost all of them. Just Curly jumped out like crazy and he broke his head open, but you know what? He is okay. Okay, so I had to throw Curly away, but what we learned is that gravity was pushing down on all those eggs, and even though I whacked that plate away and the toilet paper rolls, the eggs still got pushed down with the gravity. So, it looks like Ghosty is the egg that survived the best. He didn't crack very much. So I'm gonna try one more quick thing. move all the cups to the side. And now I have a tall one. We'll see if we can get this one to work. I just gotta go find that plate. I whacked it across the room. Ah, here it is. Okay. That there. This one's gonna be really tall. I've never done one like this either, so. And you know what? I think since it's skinnier, Ghosty can just, well, maybe he's gonna lay. All right, Ghosty's gonna lay, just like that. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Well, apparently it didn't work too well with the tall one. I think I whacked it a little too hard, or it fell before the gravity started pushing it down. But that's okay. Sometimes in science, things don't go the right way. So that first one didn't work. I'm gonna try it one more time. Got the plate. The roll. Let's see. Oh, we could try Toothy. Toothy from the last experiment would like to try diving. This crazy baby's gonna go diving now. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Ah. So the first two didn't work, and they are splattered all over my table. Now this is Wanda for our third try. We're gonna see if we can get Wanda to work. I'm gonna whack it this way again. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Ah! Well, that kind of worked. That's funny. That's actually the coolest thing that's ever happened on that. So, if you look, Wanda fell right on the edge of the cup, and she kind of split open on the cup. But if I shake it, she made it! It's a little bit easier to do it with the short ones because it's less distance for the egg to fall, to get into the water. Okay, so this next one, it kind of takes a while. Yesterday, like a whole day ago, I took an egg and I put it in a jar. And then I took vinegar and I poured the vinegar in all the way so the egg was covered with the vinegar. Now what vinegar does, what we learned about on the first Science Friday, if you guys remember way back to when I put the pipette of the stuff in that would make it, if it was pink or red, it was an acid. And then if it was like blue or green, it was a base. So that stuff is an acid. And if you put egg in an acid, it actually dissolves the shell. So the shell will be gone. So that's what I did to this egg. And if you gotta be real gentle because it doesn't have a shell on it anymore. And actually, you can see I can still kind of wipe it off a little bit. Now the reason I can still hold the egg is because under the eggshell there is a skin, a membrane, and this skin also keeps the egg safe, or keeps the baby safe in there. Now, when I put this egg inside the vinegar, it was the same size as this egg. But after the shell dissolved, we're gonna keep rolling. After the shell dissolved, water is able to pass through this skin. So it got bigger, it blew up with some more water, the water that was in the vinegar. That's a fancy thing. In science, we call that osmosis. It's when water moves across a membrane or something. So that's how we got this cool looking egg right here. Now, something that people like to do with these eggs is they try to bounce them. It's like a bouncy egg. And you can bounce it and bounce it, but if you bounce it too hard, it's gonna break. It's gonna make a mess. But the cool thing is you still can kind of hold the skin. The skin stays together, this membrane. So if you have the time, you can soak an egg in vinegar for a whole day. It's gotta be 24 hours. And then you can pull it out and play with it. It's kind of fun. Okay, so for the next one, we're gonna do some experiments with air pressure. So this is a hard-boiled egg now. So that's why it doesn't have a face on it, because you can't draw on this part. It's got a little bit of a shell on them still. And I'm gonna try to use air pressure to get this egg to go inside the jar. See, if I just put it on the top, it's not really going anywhere and nothing's happening. But if I take this candle and I light it and I put it in here, the air is going to get super hot and excited, and it's going to start pushing all the air out of the top. Now remember, kids cannot play with fire, so make sure you have a grown-up with you if you're going to try to do this. Perfect. And now right now the air is sneaking out. It's getting so warm, it's pushing it out right outside the egg. But eventually it's going to cool down, and the air is going to try to get back in, but the egg's going to be in the way. So we'll see what happens. I can already see the egg starting to move a little bit. But once the candle blows out, I think it'll happen more. All right, so the candle went out, and here goes the egg. It's moving. What? That was pretty cool. So that's one way you can get an egg inside a jar, using just air pressure. Pretty neat. Well, I hope you guys had fun watching the science video and maybe trying some of the experiments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.